Uh, okay, so let's get started. It's 11 o'clock. For those who are on here or just coming on, we're going to discuss a little bit about a brand new, and not a brand new, but amazing and unique program, especially for first responders, first-time buyers. And it's an awesome program, especially in times like these. And with me here as a guest is Raquel Munoz. She's with NewRez, an awesome lender. She knows a lot about this program because not everybody offers this program. So welcome, Raquel, and I appreciate you coming on this live Q&A. And by the way, this is my first event, so hopefully it'll go well, and I'll learn from it too. So
Wonderful.
if you want to, yeah.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me so much. I'm excited to present the Golden State Finance Authority Down Payment Assistance Program. There's some exciting changes going on. We have, for the first time, opened up to our first responders an opportunity to receive a gift for your down payment. So if you're a frontline worker, if you're working in the hospital, medical staff, if you are in law enforcement, if you are administrators of law enforcement, if you are a firefighter, administrators of firefighter, if you are a teacher, professor, or retired teacher, we have some amazing programs that will give you the down payment money as a form of a gift, but it's completely forgivable immediately after you receive the funds for your down payment. This basically cuts your purchase costs in half. And it's our way of saying thank you. It's a stimulus, if you will, efforts that we are trying to help you by knowing you need housing. Everyone needs a place to live, right? So we want to make sure that we share with you the opportunity to purchase a home because you can now use this money. So let's say you were somebody who wanted to purchase at the start of the COVID, but because of the uncertainty of the economy decided, I want to keep my money in the bank. You can still have your money in the bank and utilize our down payment assistance program as well, so that you're actually taking advantage of the stimulus money that we have for you instead of using your funds, create an opportunity for you to buy a home and still keep the savings in your own bank account. So isn't that fantastic, Mike? I love it. I'm excited.
That's awesome. Yeah. Now, is this a new program, or has it been around, or are there any twitches for the COVID situation, or can you?
So the Golden State Finance Authority Down Payment Assistance Program has been around for a very long time. In fact, I've been a big advocate for years of using the program. Prior to this, it had income restrictions, so you could only go up to a certain amount. So they've removed that this year, which is amazing. So now if you're utilizing an FHA loan and you want to utilize the down payment assistance money, there are no income limits. So it doesn't matter how much money you make. Everyone that is in the state of California has an opportunity to qualify for this program as well. So if you are not a first responder, the little bit difference of that is that you still get the money, but the forgivable period is not instant. It's after 3 years. So it'll still be a forgivable money that we'll give you. You don't have to pay it back. There's no interest that accrues on it, but it is forgivable after 3 years of home ownership. So whereas our frontline workers, it's forgivable immediately.
I see. Great. Yeah, sounds like an awesome program, especially in times like these. So now, I know you mentioned that this is for first-time responders and heroes, as well as the regular buyers and consumers. Are there any special requirements for these? Or what are the basic requirements?
So it's very easy to qualify. This is one of the more easier down payment assistance programs. So the highest FICO score requirement is 660 on our FHA deal, 640 on our conventional loan options. VA is also an option at 660. And then for all conventional VA and FHA loans, we do require you to have a 45% debt ratio. So when you inquire about your qualifications, I will collect documents up front and take a look at your credit and come up with your debt to income ratio. So debt to income is everything you owe on paper, including the new mortgage, housing expenses that you're potentially going to buy. So we'll take a look at that. And if your debt ratio is 45%, we're going to give you this grant money that you can use to buy your house.
Right, great. Okay. Now going back to the first responders, a lot of first responders are doctors and nurses and of course, police and fire and all those people. What about people who are working in the hospital or clinics or centers and they're not doctors and nurses? Do they qualify as first responders or heroes? What's the caveat on that?
That's a great question, Mike. And for the first time ever, GSFA has opened up the grant option to anyone working in the medical profession. So anyone working in the medical field will qualify. So now we can take the admin staff, we can take all of the medical assistants, we can take all of the nurses and everyone who assists the doctors and nurses. We can take a look at that and offer this program to them as well. Same with our firefighters and law enforcement. If you're working in law enforcement as any type of support or admin staff, you're eligible for this immediate forgivable assistance grant as well.
Right, great, that's awesome. What about if I'm not a first-time home buyer, for example, I'm buying my second home and sell my first, or or I want to buy an investment property? How does that work out?
Yes, absolutely. So if you're not a first-time home buyer, you're still eligible for the program. So let's say you're selling a home and buying another one, or
Mhm.
you've sold a home in the past, maybe a year or so, and you're purchasing another one, you
Right.
can be a second-time purchaser as well for the use of the funds.
Okay, awesome. That's great. Now, one of the concerns, I was talking to one of the buyers yesterday and said, I'm going to do the show or this program. So his first question was, his brother applied for the PPP and the CARES funds, which hasn't gotten yet.
Okay.
So is this program going to run out of money? Should they apply right away? What if they're not ready to buy? What's going on there?
So the program does not run, this particular assistance program does not run out of money. The reason why is it's a lender subsidy. So my company, as you can see from my sign behind me, is New Res, right? So New Res is the funder of the program up front. So that's how we're able to not run out of money. Whereas other down payment assistance, the money comes from bonds from the state of California. And as you know, in these certain times, the governor will say, I need extra money. Where's the pool of money? It's sitting in the down payment assistance programs. Let's move that bond into something else in this type of environment. So this is why I prefer to use the Golden State Finance Authority, because we don't run into that risk per se. So long as you meet the criteria of the guidelines, you're going to be eligible for the program. So the one thing that does change about any loan program is current market conditions. So anything can change about the program. So I definitely wouldn't wait, because we can only lend today on the guidelines we know of today. So if it's here and you're a frontline worker, an admin staff, support staff, you definitely qualify. That's the one thing that those guidelines could change down the road as well. So take advantage of it now.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's great. What about the interest rates on these? If you go with an FHA or a conventional loan, or somebody's a VA, how are the rates compared to your regular loans?
Oh, that's a great question too. I get excited about the rate question because typically down payment assistance interest rates, because you're basically financing 100% of this transaction, typically the rates are much higher. But in our case today, in this market environment, the Golden State Finance Authority's interest rates are starting anywhere from 2.75 to 3.5%, depending on how much of the grant you need. So when you compare that to a regular loan where you're bringing in your own down payment, we're actually in some cases lower than what the current market conditions can offer, because this is not it's not based on your credit score. Down payment at the Golden State Finance Authority has a set rate for everyone. So it's an opportunity for everyone to get into a home at a very reasonably priced interest rate. Whereas a regular loan, it's going to be on a sliding scale based on your FICO score. So it opens up a whole world of opportunity. And with the rates this low, it makes the monthly payment very affordable for you.
Right. Okay, that's good to know. I know you mentioned earlier when we started that this is a grant program and it's up to 5%, and it went over my head, and I'm sure others may have questions. So can you explain how the grant works? Is it 5% of the purchase price or the loan amount? Can you clarify that so that we have a better understanding on that?
Sure. So let's use the FHA loan, for example, first. On FHA, 3.5% is the minimum down payment requirement. So we will take 3.5% of that and of the 5% that we're going to originally request for you, and we will cover that 3.5%. The rest covers the cost this program will incur, or closing costs thereafter. So you don't have to use the full amount for the down payment, just the minimum requirement is what we need. And then we roll over the other 1.5% to cover closing costs.
Closing costs. Okay. Okay. Now going the other way, let's say I'm getting a conventional loan and I have 20% down because my parents or friends or somebody's going to give it to me, and I put on a $700,000 house, I'm going to put 140,000 down. What happens to that 5% grant? Am I eligible for that, or how does that work?
So on conventional loan, the max is 3%. So again, each of the loans are a little bit different. And you can take the 3%, and if since you're putting 20% down already, you can use the 3% to cover your closing cost at that point.
Right. Okay, great. Okay, great.
So
And
before you jump to that one, can we talk about VA? Because that's one of the most exciting opportunities. So
absolutely, yeah.
if you are eligible for a VA loan, as you know, VA is 100% financing, right? So there's no down payment requirement on a VA loan. That means the GSFA grant that we're going to give you is going to cover all of your closing costs. So no down payment and all of your closing costs are covered. What do you have to pay? You do have to pay your earnest money deposit, which is typically, I don't know, maybe 1% of the purchase price point, right? So that equates to maybe like $2,000, $3,000. You do have to pay for your home inspection, which is usually about $350, right, Mike? And then your home appraisal, which is about $550. So there is some money to get started. You do have to pay for those inspections, right, to make sure your house is well put together. But as far as your down payment and your closing costs are covered, all of that's going to be taken care of with either the VA loan or the GSFA on the closing costs. So literally on the veteran for our VA loan, literally you're coming in with just your earnest money deposit, your $350 for home inspection, and your $550 for your appraisal. So I'm so excited to structure that transaction for all my veterans. I've had a lot of people call me, firefighters from Camp Pendleton and police from Camp Pendleton have called me and are looking to get in. All of a sudden, it's a great time to be a veteran. So thank you for your service, first of all, and then it's an excellent opportunity for us to help you, and then you get to save all of your money for your future and any repairs you want to make on your new house.
Okay, well, that's good. Now, regarding the veterans, you said there's some cost like $350 or $500 for appraisal, whatever. Can the seller pay that on a VA? Let's say the veteran has no money at all. So the seller can obviously, hopefully help with that, right? Is that correct for the?
So those are fees that actually have to be paid up front. So typically the seller credit is only applied at the end of the transaction. So it isn't customary for seller credit to cover that. So the clients do have to come in with that upfront money, and that's because you're paying the appraiser or the home inspector upfront for services. So just like you wouldn't ask Stater Brothers to front you the groceries and then pay them later, you actually have to pay for the appraisal inspection upfront.
Right, especially in Orange County when homes are $350, $500, $700, paying $700, $800 upfront. It's really not, in those contexts, not really a big amount to get started. So that's a great.
But that is a good point. So let me give you a tip on that. So let's say you have a veteran who really, they can afford the house, but they really don't have too much saved. And they're in the scenario you present where they don't have the earnest money or they don't have the appraisal money or home inspection money. What they can do is they can receive a gift from their family member, and that can cover the cost of getting things started. So it can cover your earnest money deposit and your inspection fees. I'll help you with the paperwork needed to receive gift from your family. Typically it's a bank statement and a gift letter that we give you, and that's all we need. Then they can take care of that for you. So there's plenty of great opportunities for our veterans and for everyone else in California to buy. We just have to get that scenario in. Let me structure that transaction for you and start sharing with you how to get you into a home in California.
Okay. All right. I have one more question, and then I'll leave it open for you to discuss anything else. So let's say a first-time buyer responder, they buy the house. How long does the program last? What if they have to sell in 2 years because they have job transfer or something happens? Are there any penalties, or is there any minimum years? Can you elaborate on that?
Absolutely. So if you're a frontline worker, you don't have to worry about that because the money that you're using for the assistance program, it's forgivable immediately. So there's no second lien. There's no silent anything on there. You can sell your house at any time after that if you had to. If you are a non-essential worker or everyone else outside the front line and you take advantage of the program, there will be a silent second lien on your property for 3 years. After that third year, the money is forgivable. So silent second loan means that there's no monthly payments, there's no interest that you have to make for the 3 years. So if you do have to sell or refinance within those 3 years, you just pay that small amount back if you have to do that. If not, wait your 3 years and the money goes away. You don't have to repay.
Yeah. Sounds like a really awesome program, especially not only for first-time buyers, but even regular buyers. If I sell my house and get into something, I could use it too. So it's a good program.
Absolutely. It's really the first time I've seen our assistance programs available for everyone of every market type and every income structure. So I definitely want to say take advantage of it while it's here, while we know what the guidelines look like, while the interest rates are low, and the market, Mike, wouldn't you agree? It's so hot. We have so many people buying and so many people selling, even in the virtual environment. Wouldn't you agree, Mike?
Yeah, and in fact, there's I'm still hearing multiple offers. So there's fewer buyers, but the buyers who are there are serious buyers.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm hearing, and we're seeing multiple offers even today. So
absolutely, it's incredible. It's just an amazing time. The real estate market is so strong right now. It's an amazing time for people to buy and sell. And we've found a way in the COVID environment to make these transactions work. We wear our face masks and our gloves, and we use virtual open house tours. And we, schedule specific timings where there's no one in the house so we could go look and it's safe.
right,
So
right.
there's amazing ways we can buy and sell real estate in our COVID environment.
Right. Yeah. Well, Raquel, you've given us a lot of information. Hopefully some of the buyers out there, or somebody can refer to other buyers. Hopefully they can use this program. So we'll pretty much end this this live Q&A. You have any last statement to make, and then we'll call it a day?
Yep. I mean, my hashtag right now is buy now, try now. If you don't try, if you don't know your numbers, you'll never know what you're eligible for. It's actually easier than you think. As you can see, us lenders, we're not scary. We're just nice people trying to help you with your goals. So buy now, try now.
Right. Okay. Hey, Raquel, thanks a lot. Raquel, again, for people who are listening or watching now or later, she's with NewRez. If you need any information about her, contact me and I'll refer you to her, or she can answer any questions, or if you need any paperwork or any flyers, we'll be glad to help you. Thank you again, Raquel. Appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you for having me.
Bye-bye.